Welcome to today's explainer. Look, if you run a small business, you already know that simply boosting your sales isn't the whole story. And just crossing your fingers at the end of the month, yeah, that's definitely not a viable financial strategy. Real success comes from making smarter, more intentional financial decisions every single day. So today, we're taking 21 game-changing finance tips and transforming them into a structured, highly actionable masterclass built specifically for your business. We aren't just going to list off random facts. We are building a comprehensive system to take you from just chasing revenue to actually capturing lasting profit. Okay, let's dive into this. We've got 4 main phases today. First, plugging your profit leaks. Second, mastering daily cash flow. Third, metrics that actually matter. And finally, planning for sustainable growth. Phase 1, plugging your profit leaks. Or as I like to call it, stop the bleeding before you build. Before your business can sustainably grow, you've absolutely got to stop those hidden spending habits that quietly drain your bank account. And to do that, we need to talk about the number 10. Specifically, your top 10% of expenses. A lot of business owners waste hours of valuable time trying to hunt down tiny office expenses, literally trying to save pennies on printer paper. But actually, scratch that. You should first focus your energy on auditing the heavy hitters, things like your rent, payroll efficiency, supplier pricing, and inventory. Negotiating a better rate on your lease or logistics is going to produce a way bigger financial impact than cutting out dozens of little everyday purchases that barely move the needle. Focus on the big stuff first. All right, once those big expenses are optimized, it's time to build a powerful, automatic system to eliminate the everyday leaks. Here's a quick 4-step playbook for you. First, implement a weekly no-spend day. Pick one day a week where absolutely zero non-essential spending happens. No random office supplies, and no, you definitely don't need another software subscription today. It builds massive awareness around impulse buys. Next, challenge yourself to kill just one hidden cost every single month. Maybe it's excessive packaging or a pricey supplier. Killing just one a month snowballs into huge permanent savings. Third, audit your automatic subscriptions every single quarter. Autopay makes wasteful spending way too easy to ignore. Cancel what isn't pulling its weight. And finally, give every single dollar a job. Before you spend a dime, assign it to payroll, marketing, taxes, or savings. When every dollar has a planned destination, you naturally cut out the waste. Moving right along to phase 2, mastering daily cash flow. Because cash is king, not just sales. To really master that cash flow, we need to talk about your daily cash burn. Most of us only glance at our expenses once a month, right? But calculating your cash burn per day, that provides a shockingly clear picture of your reality. Just take your total monthly operating expenses and divide them by the number of days in the month. Knowing this exact daily figure is basically a superpower. Suddenly, every single spending decision gets put into real perspective, and those unnecessary expenses become glaringly obvious before they can grow into actual disasters. Now, what's really interesting about protecting that daily cash is using the 48-hour rule. A lot of costly mistakes happen simply because we make financial decisions way too fast. To fix this, you want to set up a decision delay fund. It's a small cash reserve used strictly for big purchases or surprise opportunities. But here's the catch. Before you spend a penny of it, you have to wait at least 48 hours. Use that buffer time to calculate your expected return and look into alternatives. It literally stops emotional spending right in its tracks. And speaking of cash reality, we have to face a pretty hard truth here. A business cannot pay its bills with unpaid invoices, no matter how high sales appear. Closing a sale feels amazing, sure, but actually collecting the payment is what keeps your doors open. If your team earns commissions or incentives, you've got to tie those to actual cash collections, not just the closed deal. When you incentivize faster payments, your cash flow improves, and your risk of bad debt drops big time. To lock in that daily cash stability, you really need to enforce 3 key rules. First, stop selling low cash products. Some items might generate high revenue on paper, but they eat up all your cash because of super long production times or high shipping costs. Focus on what converts to cash quickly. Second, pay yourself a fixed, consistent salary. This is huge. Pulling money out randomly just because the bank balance looks full creates super unpredictable cash drains. A fixed salary forces discipline. And third, protect your best cash month. When you have an exceptional month, don't just go on a spending spree. Save it, knock out some debt, or build up your emergency reserves for the slower seasons. The absolute best way to protect that extra cash is with a profit buffer account.
This is simply a separate bank account where you stash a small percentage of your profits. And it's absolutely crucial because it physically moves the money out of your everyday operating account. Doing this prevents a really profitable period from giving you a false sense of unlimited spending power. Out of sight, out of mind. It keeps your safety net tucked away for economic downturns or surprise repairs.
Okay, phase 3, metrics that actually matter. We're choosing sanity metrics over vanity metrics. We really have to shift our mindset away from emotional opinions and focus strictly on objective numbers. The biggest vanity metric trap out there, staring at revenue per customer instead of profit per customer. High sales do not always mean high profits. Some of your highest revenue clients are total profit drains. They might demand constant support, expect massive discounts, or return stuff all the time. By figuring out the actual profit each customer generates after you factor in all those operational costs, you'll know exactly who your most valuable clients are, and you can focus your energy on getting more of them. And tracking the right operational metrics is exactly how you uncover those hidden inefficiencies. Let's look at this breakdown. First, revenue per employee. This gives you a clear read on overall team productivity and really helps guide your staffing choices as you scale up. Then there's the cost of waiting. This one is fascinating. It literally measures the actual money you lose by putting off a major decision, like upgrading equipment or raising prices. When you put a dollar amount on your hesitation, it forces you to act on opportunities way faster. Finally, max inventory age. This is literally cash tied up on your shelves. You've got to decide the absolute maximum number of days you'll hold a product before discounting it or bundling it. You need to convert that stale inventory back into cash before it completely loses its market value. But hey, metrics aren't just about balance sheets, right? There's a human element to all of this. You should really start keeping a finance mistakes journal. When you make a bad call, and we all do, write down exactly why it happened, what it cost you, and what you learned so you never repeat it. You should also track a weekly financial stress score for yourself on a scale of 1 to 10. Over time, you'll start spotting patterns that show you exactly which financial issues are creating the most pressure, so you can actually fix the root causes instead of just reacting emotionally. Ultimately, you've got to replace assumptions with concrete financial ratios, like your gross profit margin and inventory turnover. Base your major choices on hard facts, not just instincts. Now, before we look to the future, I have a pretty critical question for you. Are you growing faster than your available cash? I know rapid growth sounds incredibly exciting, but growing too fast without the actual cash to back it up can create fatal cash flow problems. Remember, every single new employee and every large inventory order requires cash up front, way before it generates any return for you. Which leads us perfectly into phase 4, planning for sustainable growth and conditioning your business for the long term. Let's see how we can build a truly resilient operation by doing something that might feel a bit counterintuitive, creating a worst-case budget first. Instead of building your financial plan around sunny, best-case sales forecasts, start right here. Step 1, forecast conservative sales. Just assume growth is going to be a lot slower than expected. Step 2, hold your operating expenses steady against that conservative number. If your business can comfortably survive under those restricted conditions, your foundation is absolutely rock solid. Then, step 3, treat any additional revenue that comes in above that baseline as a pure bonus, rather than money you're desperately depending on just to keep the lights on. So, what does this all mean? It means financial mastery isn't an accident. It's a deliberate, structured system of purposeful cash management. You now have the exact blueprint to shift from just making revenue to actually keeping your profit. So I will leave you with this one thought. Looking at everything we've just covered, which of your business's profit leaks are you going to patch first today?